Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got ourselves a big series here from the Esports World Cup. Gumiho in the top left side of the map, up against Astrea in the bottom right. And I'm so bloody excited. Astrea is playing for Virtus Pro, Gumiho is playing for Cloud9, and we're going to be casting all of these games. You might be wondering, why are you casting it now, Pig? The finals was 2 weeks ago. Well, guess what? I've been on holiday. I went to Greece after casting live at the Big World Championship. Had a lovely holiday. I went on some beaches, and I am now back. And I spent all day yesterday, the moment I got off the plane, looking at the replay pack, listing down what I think were all the best series. Not necessarily just nail biters, but definitely like big name players, entertaining strategies. If there was a favorite who got one-sidedly smashed, I think, notable series like that. So it's not just, it's going to be a close series, but also just notable, interesting, exciting series. Essentially, I am giving you guys the shortlisted best games of the entire World Cup. And yeah, you guys can see it here over the next 2 weeks. It's going to be a couple of weeks to get to the finals, and I'm just going to cast it in order. This is from Group A. So there's 2 groups, then a knockout bracket. And then finally, the top 4 is the way the tournament format works. And I think a lot of people might have thought this tournament wasn't that good if they tuned in just on the final 2 days for the knockout bracket and the top 4, because there was quite a few one-sided matches. There was still some really good games in those 2 days, but, compared to the first 3 days of the tournament, we played out these groups, it was just night and day. Dude, the games on day 1, day 2 especially, but even day 3, insanely good games in this tournament. It felt like each Group A and Group B alone were like their own just amazing tournament brackets. So I don't know, I just had so much fun being at this tournament. I don't even remember which series I cast. I remember some of them, but a lot of them I was sitting there in the green room, excitedly talking to Zombie Grub and State and Lambo and Roddy and everyone as we were watching these games, because we just saw so much good StarCraft over the last few weeks. So strap yourselves in, let's get excited. Astrea, of course, coming in as the only American player, the only player from the entire Americas, South America, North America, Alaska, Hawaii, representing all that crazy stuff. Canada, Mexico, all that stuff being represented by Astrea. And he came in as a big underdog, right, for the overall tournament. Gumiho, on the other hand, a player who had a really good 2023 and has looked a little hot and cold recently. So there's a lot of question marks about his form going into this. Look at that. Adept comes in. So Astrea happily sacrifices the Adept for this count. He sees the command center. He sees Cyclone. He knows there's no add-on on there, so he can assume it's a medevac. Could technically be a Liberator. But he's going Dark Templar drop. Oh, okay. This is really cool. Okay, so we've got 2 gate. 3rd gate's coming up. Dark Shine's on the way. He's going to Chrono Boost the Warp Prism. Problem with losing the Adept with this build order is he's only got 1 Adept. This is such a tight build order. You just don't have many units. So he should be warping in 2 Stalkers. His gateways have just transformed. He's going to get 2 Stalkers, but then still 2 Stalkers and an Adept. That's hard to defend with, especially when you've got... Oh, where's the Cyclone? Oh, he left the Cyclone at home. Okay, this might be a mistake for Gumiho. If he hit with a Cyclone and 4 Marines and a medevac, I literally don't think Astrea has an answer to it. I think he just... 2 Stalkers ain't going to defend that. But 5 Marines, this might be defensible. Oh, Gumiho, go in. He turns around. Oh, no, he's delaying scouting the Dark Shrine. He's just out of vision. I mean, don't get me wrong, Astrea doesn't know he's there either. Astrea's going down here to build a pylon, but that does not spot this drop. Stuff's about to hit the fan, guys. You know the stuff I'm talking about. We're talking about the excrement. It's going to get very messy. Oh, Astrea didn't pull his probes all the way away. He did the lazy half pull. And the lazy half pull does get 6 probes killed. Medevac's going to rotate. Meanwhile, Dark Templar warping in the top. One's going to run in the front. One's going to drop inside that base. Probe's trying to fight. Not a good call here for Astrea. He's losing so many workers. He did actually kill one of the Marines, which is nice. We'll get rid of the Medevac, but 9 Marines. For just a small little 5 Marine drop, only 1 Marine died. That is a problem. But Astrea's coming in the front. 1 Dark Templar there. He drops in the main base. Engineering base almost done. There is a Raven ready. Warps in another Dark Templar. Quick turnaround for Astrea, though. And where's that DT on the natural? He's not hitting the SCVs. Unfortunate mistake on the micro. Finally getting his first 2 SCVs. That Dark Templar, he should have clicked it here, but he clicked it there. No doubt, click that on the minimap and just misclicked a little bit. Little misclicks in these intense scenarios are going to cost you. Oh, I just realized, by the way, for those who don't know, Astrea right now is using not his own mouse. He left his mouse in the hotel and didn't realize until just before his match when they went to set up on the stage. So he's actually had to borrow a mouse off someone else. It's not too crazy different to his own, but that definitely is a really stressful spot because, I mean, he's literally sent a player manager over to the hotel to go get his mouse, and they're trying to, like, get it to him as quickly as possible, but essentially he's hoping he can drag this game 1 out long enough that he can have the mouse ready for game 2. And that's such a ridiculously stressful situation to be in. Okay, so Archon drops going around. We've got Blink, Templar Archives, lots of gateways. But notice the third had to be massively delayed. He does have 4 gases, though, so it looks like it's going to be Storm drop. So far, units lost tab. This looks really good for Gumiho. You've lost barely any units. You've got Stim, Shields, Medivacs, all this sort of stuff coming in. I mean, what do you do here as Astrea? Well, you go Blink, Storm, Charge. You try to land some really nice Storm and see what you can do. It looks like you got an SCV there with the Archon drop. Stalker's out front. Oh, if you could get the Raven, that would be good. See, there's a Cyclone drop hunting for the Observer. That's what he's looking for, the Observer. He wants to pop the Cyclone out to deal with that. A second SCV goes down to the Archon drop. There is no Observer, of course. It's only now coming across the map. Storm is coming in. 3 more gateways coming out as well. 6 gates. Okay, 6 gateways. 6 gateways into third Nexus. That's an incredibly late third. Astrea needs some magical engagements. The advantage for him is Gumiho has no info. Gumiho does not know about Psystorm being on the map. He has no idea. He's starting to poke forward now. He's thinking about building that third command center on location. That's going to be a little exposed to this Adept. Could come in and deny that. Observer sees the move out. Where's the Raven, guys? Where's the Raven? It's up here. Oh, he hasn't got rid of the Observer. Oh, the Medivac saving the SCV. Nicely done. Good job with that Medivac. Stalker's coming back. They do have Blink. There's an Immortal building. There is Storm almost finished now. Where are those High Templar guys? They're inside the prison. 3 High Templar. Oh, he might be able to smash this. He might be able to smash this with good Storms on the Marines and charge on top. Wait, where's the rest of the army? Gumiho's army is tiny right now. There's so few Marines and Marauders. Has Gumiho messed up his macro a little bit? I'm not quite sure. It feels like he's very low on Marine Marauder. Zealot's going to go across the map. Charge is not done. Oh, and Astrea has to cancel the Nexus. I think that's the good choice. Giving up the Nexus, restarting it on the other side, because he needs the perfect engagement. If he botches this fight, he's just dead. Zealots come in. Command Center immediately cancels that, and Gumiho rebuilds it in the main base. Gumiho going to 5 barracks. He's got a perfect tank position. Bio, Widowmine set up there. He's going to start sieging. I kind of wish Gumiho would just pick up and go home here, but I think he's figured this is such a good angle. And I might get ambushed if I try to, run home. So I'm just going to try and force a good fight. And, he already forced some feedbacks out. These High Templar don't really have any Storms available. He's still got 3 available in the Prism. And the Zealots are up there to the left, getting ready to flank this. Okay, more Archon Immortal coming out. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it, guys. Watch out for the High Templar. The Prism! Oh, if that Widowmine landed, that would have been huge. But Astrea micros it back, does avoid getting hit by the Widowmine, and he lands 3 Storms. The third Storm didn't do that much, but the first 2 were incredible. They got some really good trades. The Raven goes down. That army just got cleaned up very efficiently. 1,000 resources of positive value. And Gumiho, I kind of feel like if this was Beyond in his shoes, he might have been dropping the main at the same time as that bust happened, and carrying this through. But Gumiho playing a little bit more careful. And yes, he's got a 3rd command center and a Ghost Academy up. Still doesn't know about this Observer, but I think that turret's in range of it. Yes, it is. Let's see if either player notices here, as you need to move a Marine right to the edge to kill that. Drop on the right side coming. He's going to keep denying these pylons. You see Astrea's trying to rebuild the pylons to get vision. Oh gosh, the armies are missing each other in the middle of the map right now. That's a big issue. Marines do clean up the Observer on that side. That probe gets taken out. At least it doesn't start the pylons. Oh no, the High Templar are in the open. This is so bad. They don't have Storm just yet. Oh, this is so bad for Astrea. He's going to lose 1 High Templar, 2 High Templar go down. But wait, Stalkers do come back. There was a recall of a few of these High Templar that have Storm available. Gumiho just plays it safe, pulls away there. Marine Marauder coming in from the right side. Does have Concussive and 1-1 against no upgrades for Astrea. Astrea's Forge. It's only just started +1 in the recent past. He also lost a gateway, which is why he's down to 5 gateways. He's adding 2 more. So he's going to try and go up to 7 gate. Double Forge and a 4th Nexus. He also catches some Marine Marauders stray in the middle of the map, but Gumiho turns around, gets a few Zealot snipes, units lost tab. Remember how favorable it was for Astrea? Gumiho's been so careful with his last few engagements. It's now turned massively in Gumiho's favor in the last minute or two. It's like dead even overall trading. And Gumiho shoving through the middle. This is a crazy move, dude. Astrea was out there trying to get some map control. Prism on the right, though. He's got High Templar. Once again, getting caught out in the open. Prism, though. Massive Prism drop. Does land. Big Storms. This army, the Stim plus the Storms. Not to mention those Archons. My gosh, these Archons are absolutely slaying it. They got some big splash damage, but they go down, as does the Prism. Not to mention the Immortals getting gunned down, but that last Storm cleans up the last of the Bio. Oh, more feedbacks going down. Astrea's been so good with feedbacks. I think a lot of Protoss players just don't use feedback on the medevacs, but that did get some decent value. He traded better cost for cost, but Astrea lost a lot of gas. I think keeping the Immortals alive means it's okay. The fact that he kept one Immortal alive, has a new one coming out. He does have enough money for Double Fortune. Look at his worker count. When did he get to 77 workers? Oh my, I mean, I've been on holiday for a few weeks. I don't know if I'm just not that good at keeping pace with the game, but Astrea was building probes this entire time. Remember, he started his third at 6 minutes, got it cancelled, rebuilt it, and now is still finding himself up at 78 workers, a very impressive income. Widowmine drop's going to come in. This is where some Clem style, yeah, annoying Widowmine micro, a really good way to make this frustrating for your opponent. And it looks like just a couple probes going down for those Widowmine. Zealots cleaned it up. So no real value gained there. This is where the old school, you know, invisible Widow Mines would have been a bigger issue. +2 attack on the way. No second engineering bay. 4th command center on location. 2 gases on the 3rd. Sensor tower going down out front. Widow Mines getting scattered around the map as well. There is one observer on the front. Astrea, he's got some storms ready. Equal army supply on both sides. 68 for Gumiho, 65 for Astrea. This game is looking decent for both sides. Big EMPs landing. Big EMPs on the Prism and 3 High Templar. There's still 2 High Templar with storms in the Prism, but notice Astrea is pulling back, and that's wise. Because, look, you've at least made him use all of his EMP for now. Stalker Zealot coming in from behind. He's got 2 more flanking High Templar from the north. Gumiho may have gone too deep again. That second storm was not good for Astrea, though. Did kind of mess up the second storm, but he's gunning down these units, and Gumiho knows he needs to run because he knows there's a Warp Prism there. And if you get caught by that Warp Prism landing one more big storm, you could be in a big spot of bother. A couple of Vikings coming in is huge. You might be wondering, why is he going Vikings when there's no Colossus? And it's not because he's predicting this second Robo-Bay transition, though obviously you can always assume that's going to happen eventually. It's because that actually shuts down the Warp Prism. If you EMP the 100 shields, it's only got 80 hit points. If you have 4 Vikings, you can one-shot it, right? So it's going to really reduce the mobility of Astrea's splash damage by having a few Vikings out there. And he's up to 8 barracks. He's building 1 reactor, 2 tech labs as he goes up to 8 barracks. Astrea is up to 9 gateways. Finally, he's got a decent gateway count. He also is taking a 5th nexus up front. Widowmine does clean up a Zealot on that side. Single Marine on this side coming in. Both players fighting for a little bit of map vision, a little bit of control over what's going on. Archons and Zealots cleaning up that Widowmine. Few Marines going around. If you guys ever want to send a few units around the map to clean up Zealots, I always like to send just a few more than that, like 2 Marauders, usually just like basically 2 Marauders, 4 Marines and a medevac, but unloaded, like don't actually load them up and just queue them to aim around, because then you can always heal, you can stim, you can stutter step, you can pick up the drop. I always think that's a nice number, whereas Gumiho is doing what I would refer to right now as a sloppy YOLO, where he's just kind of queuing a few Marines, which a Zealot can A-move those down, because the upgrades are very even now, right? 2-1 for both sides. But not only that, you're also sending units on the top right with no medevacs with them, which is really sloppy. 6 medevacs are out right now. Fusion cores on the way. We've got +3 weapons, +2 armor on the way. EMPs do land on those front High Templar. The 6th base of Astrea is given up. I love Astrea's ability to give up ground here. He's really saying, look, I can't fight right now, not if you're EMPing me. I got to chill a little bit. Wait for reinforcements. Mass Zealot Archon Immortal coming in. Where are the High Templar right now, guys? Feels like the High Templar are not really where the fights are happening. Gumiho's getting these good little trades, but what we've seen is historically in this game so far, and it is a very good back and forth game 1, is Gumiho takes really good trades in the small fights, but then he kind of overcommits and gets surrounded by like Storm. And now that we've got not just Storm, but we've also got 4 Archons, 3 Immortals, 2 Colossi with a 3rd one coming out, extended Thermal Lance, that's right, the Viagra upgrade, +2 armor. I don't know why I said it like that, the Viagra. Anyways, +3 attacks on the way. It feels like you're hitting this avalanche of splash damage. The only thing missing is Disruptors for Astrea. Gumiho's getting medevac energy upgrade before Lib range, which I actually think is the best way to do it. The problem is he's delayed his 2nd and 3rd starport so long, whereas he could have just put a starport on this reactor and already been into 4 libs at a time production, which is way more important because libs build very quickly. You really don't need a 3rd starport. This is like an old school mentality from when you needed to put one on a tech lab that a lot of Terrans still have. It's not bad to get the 3rd starport. It's just one of those things where getting out the lib transition earlier, I would say, has higher priority. Astrea's in a very defensive stance. It feels like his army was amazing splash damage for a while, and he should be trying to force a fight. He probably could have forced a fight a minute ago, but he's not really going for it. He starts chasing down this army. Gumiho will, of course, counter push on the left, but the mass cannon battery coming up. There's a Storm available. Zoning High Templar does lose his Storm energy on this left side. Right side still has 2 High Templar there. These Colossus out on their own. Worries me a little bit. It feels like those have been forgotten. Or actually he's purposefully sending them to the left side. Ah, okay. So you can see he's trying to use more Storm on the right, whereas it's more of an A-move splash damage army on the left. He should still probably replace 1 or 2 High Templar there. But the right side, it's going to be way more Storm dependent because you don't have those big, powerful core units like the Immortal Colossus. Archon does take a Widowmine. Stalker's over there, going to take out that Marine. Here we go, big attack coming in for Gumiho. Is he going too deep? Storm. Big storms do land, but those 2 High Templar are a bit too stacked, which means he doesn't really have any support for them. Rest of the army's coming back. Remember I said Gumiho keeps overextending, but this actually feels like a perfect push. He's got so much time to get damage done here. He's going to stim a second time. Oh, Storm Drop comes in from behind. Pretty good storms, but he snipes it down. And oh my lord, guys. Oh my lord. It's get out of here time for Gumiho. Leave. Run. His army's just not big enough on this side of the map. I know he's got a bigger army supply, but it's not all here. A lot of it's in production. He's going to try and get home, which is absolutely the right call. He's up to only 4 libs right now. He's got 3 starports, but one of them maybe isn't control grouped or something like that. I guess he's a bit low on money as well. He's remaxing very quickly, but Astrea's happy to embrace in the base trade. This is an issue. Gumiho will go for the base trade as well. He needs libs at home. Because remember, Protoss can recall. So what you need to do here is you need to rally to the high ground as Gumiho. Apologies for the lag, by the way, guys. He should be rallying up to his main base and trying to reinforce that ramp and hold on with range libs. Dark Shrine goes down very quickly. He's taking out forges. He's depowering the tech, getting rid of the Templar Archives. Gumiho is already sniping a lot of high-value structures now. Oh my gosh, Astrea is just going to blink to the high ground. The bio's all in the natural. Gumiho did not reset his units to the high ground. He left them down there. If those units were up top, he might have been able to start sieging these libs. If he had libs sieged here, and Bio waiting for the Stalker Colossus, blinking up to the high ground with Stalker Colossus is a crazy move. But because Gumiho didn't reset his defense at all, his starports are caught out in the open, and Astrea is finding massive value on this. Now, don't get me wrong, Astrea already lost all of his tech, all of his production, but he's up 20 army supply. Whereas if we had libs and Bio holding this ramp, attacking up a choke point is so hard into Bio lib. +2 ship weapons. No. It's going to finish. Nice move there for Gumiho. He does get +2 ship weapons. He's trying to build 3 more starports on the right side. Problem is he's already lost his depots. Both sides are massively supply blocked. And Astrea trying to hold on this side. Battery overcharge plus mass storms. He's going to be able to hold on to his third. Unfortunately, he does lose that robo, which means he's only got 7 gateways and a Stargate. He's going Fleet Beacon as well. I think he's going to go for Mothership, which is actually very clever. +3 armor finishes just before that goes down as well. So Gumiho did a really good job of prioritizing, focusing down upgrades and tech. Astrea, with his lower damage army of Stalker Colossus, the Zealots and the Archons and Immortals coming up a bit later, wasn't able to do that. Gumiho's got Planetaries. This one down here is very easy, I believe, for Astrea to take out. But it's the army supply that's the big issue. Gumiho is down 40 army supply. Trying to rebuild his production, and both sides seem to have similar incomes, right? 48 workers versus 42. Planetary goes down. Those SCVs are going to get gunned down, and that should put Astrea in the lead with 3 mining bases and a 4th one going up in the bottom left side. So Astrea's got 4 bases available. He's also got more pylons already built, so he can build more of those as time goes on as well. This is going to be really hard for Gumiho because he's just so down on supply, and he's only got 5 libs. If he has like 10 libs here, I'm like, yeah, maybe. But he's got 2 Ghosts, 5 libs against 7 High Templar, 3 Colossus, 3 Immortals, 2 Archons. This is looking really bad. Gumiho needs all of his libs sieged up perfectly. With the Planetary, you can't really push into the Planetary as Astrea. Oh, he's going to try and storm across the gap. He's trying to storm or feed back maybe the Ghosts. Observer's helping out a lot here. Gumiho needs to get rid of this Observer, but he just doesn't know it's there. Doesn't have any orbitals or anything. Oh, the Storm! Great Storm. Gets a few SCVs. The libs take damage. I mean, I like that he's repairing his Metavaxes, Gumiho. Oh, another High Templar came in that right side and stormed there. Couple Zealots here. Okay, Zealots plus Storm. 1 High Templar does go down. Gotta protect those High Templar. Another Zealot falling. Mothership and +1 air weapons is on the way. Astrea is the only person who starts making +1 air weapons in this scenario, because he's like, yeah, that upgrade would be cool. Sometimes I do think Astrea kind of hears the Platinum League thoughts in his brain, and unlike most pros that ignore them, he listens. You know, they're like, +1 air weapons would be really good if this game goes for another 12 minutes, you know? Hey, he's got money. He can do whatever he wants. Astrea's got this game in the bag, I think, because if you look at this, right, he's got army, he's got way more map. Gumiho's kind of trying to counter Doom Drop while defending with libs. I mean, he does have the starports building the range libs, but he just doesn't have the numbers to support it. And there's so many Stalkers now. 30 Stalkers can just blink in and focus them down. Even with the +2 ship weapons, there's no EMP available, which means, guess what? Stalkers aren't going to be getting one shot. It's going to take 2 lib shots for every Stalker. And with the mobility of the blink, the Stalkers are going to have a good time. Colossus rotating around. He's going to try and blink towards this. Oh, Vikings doing some good shots on the Colossus, but the Storms really nice on the Viking SCV. Double Twilight Council, Forge coming in, 4 more probes building for Astrea. Astrea's mining so much right now, and Gumiho is just, he's down in the dumps economically. You can see all these red arrows on the income. He's going to finally get a base snipe, which is very cute, but oh, look at that. He just jumps on top. Stalkers just blink on the libs, Storms on the Vikings. There's no support. It's just a handful of Marines and a few Liberators. Planetary does take out a fair few Stalkers. Astrea's army, oof. I mean, it's actually a pretty good defense for Gumiho. The problem is, now he's lost control of his production area. A few more units get picked off by the libs. See, we're going to go for the Planetary. Oh my gosh, he's got 3 Immortals. He could take it out. Immortals with +3 do 65 damage a shot to Armored. 2 armor on that Planetary, not going to be enough there. Check it out. Marauders snipe another Nexus. Getting some damage here is Gumiho, but it's just, it's you're losing your infrastructure. Sniping a few Nexi ain't enough. He's going to blink away here or pick up and try to get over there. Stalkers are warping in. And there goes a full medevac. Really nicely done. Gumiho unloads on the high ground, starts trying to pick off these pylons, but Astrea's back up to 12 gateways. He's got unlimited money. And Gumiho right now huffing copium. Time warp does go down. Mothership's going to recall on top of those medevacs. That's a very Astrea move right there. Fly to the high ground, recall your Stalkers, and then blink them on the medevac. That's the get out of here American special. Nice move for Astrea. Manages to win game 1. Using someone else's mouse. Very well done. All right, a nice game 1 victory for Astrea. But he's about to deal with some cheeky BS. Because look at this. Gumiho is going for what appears to be a floaty barracks. Maybe. Does it? Okay, so Gumiho's on the left. What do you do with this? And why have you got... Oh, he's just setting up camera locations. I saw his camera look down here. You can see these blue and red boxes on the minimap. And I was like, why is he going to do a second proxy down here? So... You could just build a Reaper, and it's hard for your opponent to scout the barracks. You could float it in and build like Marines in a bunker, or even Marauders there, but it's so hard for that to not be spotted. I'm curious to see what goes on. Astrea's one basing. Oh my god. Okay, so Astrea's build is perfect against a proxy barracks because he could like counterbust so easily. Astrea is doing a super cutesy build order. The question is, because he's skipping scouting, does he realize what's happening? The barracks is floating in? That's going to be just out of vision, right? We're about to find out. No, it goes in vision. It does go in vision. Guys, remember, Pylon's got +1 vision range. So he actually sees what's going on. Oh, that's actually massive. I can't remember, why did Pylons get +1 vision range? Is that just so spotting Pylons on the map could see Terran drops or something a bit better? Either way, it's going to help out Astrea a lot. He's sending a probe out, so he's thinking about counter proxying. He's going to go build something on the other side right now. Now, what he doesn't realize is there's a factory on the low ground. So this is an incredibly committed proxy from Gumiho. Gumiho is not just throwing the kitchen sink at him. He's throwing the kitchen sink. He's pulling the cutlery drawers out. He's throwing knives, forks, spoons, chopsticks, everything at Astrea. It's going to be a Stalker out in a moment, though. So this Reaper has no business getting any probes. Stalker, if you get this Reaper kill, it's huge. Not quite. Great pullback timing by Gumiho. Seeing no Nexus, as Gumiho, rather than trying to force damage, you want to just pull back, keep your Reaper alive, float the barracks home. Building Cyclones and a Starport. So it's going to be an incredibly early Cyclone. Do you guys think drop, or do you think he just goes for a Liberator first? Because a Liberator can get into this main base so quickly. You kill 1 or 2 Stalkers with your first 2 Cyclones, this could be crazy. Proxy Dark Shrine! This is so good for Astrea, guys. Proxy Dark Shrine is just a free win. Because there's no detection. You're on 1 base, which means you've only got 1 orbital for scans. Gumiho going to scout it? No. Oh my gosh! Oh, Gumiho, he's like, well, why are you 1 base? You must be doing something. Oh, Astrea castles the Dark Shrine, which seems like a good idea when it's scouted, but it's not. If he knew these buildings were here, he would 100% keep this, because there's no way Gumiho can clear this up without diverting his entire push to the south side. So Astrea right now has no idea what's happening. Oh no, he's moving his Stalkers out. You need them at home. He has no recall energy. He's got no recall energy. He has no idea about this drop coming in. That Nexus is not finished. He's only now seeing it. His Stalkers are on the wrong side of the map. I don't care if you get a Reaper kill. It's not worth having your Stalkers this far out of position. He can't recall. Oh no, he's got a Sentry and a bunch of probes against a Cyclone drop. Even if you surround the Cyclones, he just picks them up and gets out. This is so bad. The Force Field's actually really good to buy himself a second of time here. Gumiho struggling a little bit with the pickup drippy drop, but so much mining time being lost. 5 probes, 6 probes. I mean, this is so very, very bad for Astrea. And look at his building wall off. It works against him here. Okay, 2 Stalkers could come, but oh my gosh. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. Oh man, 2 Cyclones and a Medevac should be, you know, super easy, barely an inconvenience, but instead it's ow, 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 ow. And it's not doing well, man. Gumiho's just got so much damage. Command Center's finished. Second barracks is up at the tech lab. He's actually building tanks on the front as well. Astrea still doesn't even know this is here. Oh my gosh. The Reaper Scout, combined with Astrea's reaction to that Reaper Scout, has actually just won this game for Gumiho, or at least maybe not won. We get a tank. Oh, he's going to find a tank. That's huge. But wait, there's a Medevac there. There's a Medevac. Oh, with Medevac Micro actually turns against Astrea. There's a Cyclone tank coming forward. The Marines moving from the left side as well. Command Center is down now. So you're on 2 bases mining. You've got 2 barracks up. Rallying Marine tank forward. I love that Gumiho is being patient here. He's like, there's no need to hurry. I've already done so much damage. Astrea's on 28 workers trying to make blink right now. Can you guys imagine if he had a Dark Templar here, a Dark Templar here, and a Dark Templar here? It's game over. The Dark Shrine actually would have been so perfect, but Gumiho scouting, so nice. Terran's ruining pro play for the past few months. It's so boring to watch Terran Imba race. What? I mean, I think what you mean is Clem. Adamas, I think you mean Clem. Get a bit of a typo there. You said Terran race. I think you mean Clem race. Let's be honest. The only Terran that looks overpowered recently is being Clem. This is like people complaining about Zerg being Ember in the last year and a half. It's like, you know, everyone's like, Zerg's so broken. And you're like, what? Serral. Oh, nice Medevac snipe there for Astrea. Phoenix Hallucination does come in as well. I think a lot of us all wish Protoss was doing better at the very top and the top 4 of tournaments, but oh my gosh, dude, there's just too much terror, and the Stalkers can't hold on against that. Battery overcharge is kind of good there, but you've got, oh, the tanks are all on siege. Now's the time to fight for Astrea, but the tanks are re-sieged, and dude, the tank volleys can get through the battery overcharge. Like, you know, 3 tank shots, remember they do 70 damage a shot against armored, which almost completely removes the shields of those Stalkers. They're going to blink behind, but tanks already shelling on them. 1 lib goes down, and that Nexus is not long for this world. Slow Zealots intercept a tank. Tank's going to beat them. Gumiho's like, dude, I know how to micro, bro. Siege tank there. Medevac with the save. Beautiful move there for Gumiho. Saves it. Tanks are unsieging. Stalkers, he knows about the proxy now, does Astrea, but he's just got no counterplay. He's been too far behind on income. Ever since that first Cyclone drop came in and his Stalkers were on the wrong side of the map, it was such a disaster. Like, things didn't just go wrong. It was comical how badly things went for Astrea. He's going to counterattack with Stalkers right now. A desperate last-ditch effort. The Marine SCV pull doing what it can. Stalker Micro is pretty good for Astrea, but he needs to not just do damage. He's got to wipe Gumiho off the map. He can't quite do it, and Gumiho ties up the series. All right, guys. Astrea in the top left side of the map. Looks like he's gone for... Oh, he went for the very early probe scout here in game 3. Sorry, guys. Should have started this cast from the start. Did he delay the barracks at all? This started at 15 seconds ago now, so about... No, that seems... Wait. 20? 20 seconds? Oh, 44 seconds. That's a very delayed barracks. So, guys, normally when you see the early probe come in, you build the barracks here or here because you know it's going to be blocked. But Gumiho actually let his barracks be quite delayed. He gets it in location, but it's very delayed. And this is the whole point of this early probe harass, is you scout if you're being proxied really early. So you kind of shut down a lot of cheesy openings, but you also just mess up their barracks timing. And by forcing those SCVs to hot swap, that wastes another 2 seconds. That's actually big. That Reaper is like 6 to 7 seconds late. This is such a late Reaper. it's got no chance of doing any damage. And Astrea goes Nexus into Cybercore. So this is a really smart reaction Astrea's made, where he sees that the barracks is so late. And he's like, oh, I can be greedy. I can actually go Nexus, then Cybercore. This also allows me to get the second gas before second pylon. This is really smart play by Astrea. You guys, you cannot underestimate how much of an edge this gives Astrea in these openings. I know he lost a lot of minerals by sending this early probe across, but this is where sometimes I see Max Packs and Hero send this early probe across, get the same sort of delayed barracks effect, but they go Cybercore first. And it really feels like, it's like, I feel like we could have got a little ahead there, you know? Because look at this. You'd think barracks first against a guy who's gone Nexus first. Yeah, it's a big map, but the Reaper should still be able to get in there and at least force some probe micro. In this scenario, look at this. The Stalker's going to pop out as he enters the base. He can't even hit a probe. He just like go in and then immediately turn around and leave because the Stalker's already out. Great opening for Astrea. Sentry's out. Now, I like that Gumiho doesn't force the issue, and he actually does go straight back in there. He was checking if the Stalker was going to move out at all. Because he sees the Stalkers at home, he's like, okay, hey, if you're not moving across the map to pressure me, I can get away with skipping the bunker. And that's a really good adjustment by Gumiho. This is what I love about top tier play is like, for guys like me, we just often just do things with our build and it's preordained, it's preset, it's memorized ahead of time. These guys are so reactive. And he saw the probe move out to the left, so he moves his Reaper back to clean it up, checks the watchtower, and then goes back to the front. Second gate into Twilight Council is there. We should be seeing that hallucination go out when he gets to 75 energy, about 10-15 seconds. Because he went Stalker first, it's a pretty late Sentry Scout, but hey, it's not bad. And most importantly, it's going to see the quick second barracks. Gumiho loves a quick second barracks build order. He's got a starport there as well. So 2 barracks factory starport. Interesting. Do you guys... He's going Widow Mine drop. Okay, I think he'll still probably build a 3rd barracks. I know he used to have like a really cute 2 barracks marine tank push. I don't know if he does it anymore. But it was kind of cool because it would hit this odd fast timing that could surprise a Protoss. But because you didn't have the 3rd barracks producing behind it, it just felt like it was like the reinforce was very weak. All right, Marines will clean up the hallucination. I'm pretty sure he sees the Widow Mines. You see no add-ons on the starport and the factory. You know it's not a 2-on-1, so you know it's likely a Widow Mine drop. Robo goes down, and 4 gases, guys. This is the Astrea special, one of his most old-school openings. You can go back to 2020, 2021. Astrea was spamming this build order back then. Do you guys remember him and Dream had some of the most epic matches back in those years of StarCraft 2? Where it was so crazy back and forth. And it's really cool because with this build, you get really fast Colossus, but you still take a quick 3rd, usually before the 5-minute mark. In this case, he's playing a bit safer with the shield battery. Widowmine drop comes in. Astrea's reacting very fast. Oh, he's pulling a little slow. Careful, mate. He's going to keep... Oh, Gumiho retargeting. Now, Gumiho didn't drop the main, though. This is where you see the difference between Gumiho and Clem. Clem would have been dropping in the main at the same time, but actually, oh, there are Stalkers up there. Good split for Astrea. Never mind. I was like, why is he not dropping 2 at once? But I think Astrea was pretty quick with the warping in the main, so fair call. Reaper's going to poke in. Gumiho just wants to see what's happening. Okay. Fair enough. Forge before 3rd base as well is kind of crazy. Charge. +1 charge. Immortal. What is this build order? 2-gate charge. 1 immortal. He's going to build a Colossus in a second. He's got 300, 200. He queues that up. Chrono boost it again. Where's that 3rd base? 3rd base is so late. This is the weird two racks marine tank push I was talking about, guys. It hits such an odd timing. It's not even 6 minutes. He's already got Stim Marines and he cancels the 3rd. Oh, Gumiho's build order is just so odd to play against. 1 Marine's fallen. Probe goes down. Tank shot's good. You'd be really... As Gumiho, I think you've already achieved everything you're going to achieve here. He's going to try and drop the Widow Mine and then get out of there. Oh, nice retarget. Astrea looked away thinking it was done. 5 probes go down to that Widow Mine. 1 probe died on the front. That's why it's a total of 6 showing up on the left side of our screen. Ooh, Marine Tank. The medevac on the right side is going to take some damage. The Immortal's going to get jumped on. Gumiho loses the medevac on the top right, but he gets himself an Immortal. And he needs to just go home. He's got a 3rd command center finish, but no 3rd barracks. Oh, he's floating money. Guys, Gumiho's floating money right now. Gumiho is not as fast as guys like Clem or Maru. You see it here. Little tunnel vision on the front. There was a lot of micro going on. He's delayed the 3rd a long time. But perhaps with Astrea getting some room for himself. Rebuilding a third. He has good tech, right? +1 in charge is very early, and he's already building a second Colossus. I feel like normally being stuck on 2 base this long is a death sentence for Protoss. But Astrea, right now he's got Gumiho turtled up defensively. The thing is, with tanks, you can't push in at all. The tanks cannot push in at all. Oh, I forgot Astrea does the coolest move here. Oh my god, I remember this game now. Dude, this is such a cool move. He's going to blink to the high ground. He jumps in there. Stalker Colossus goes into the main. There's no tanks here. There's no answer to the Colossus. The Marines cannot handle the Colossus out in the open like this. And look at this micro from Astrea. Just pulling back to the ledge. He's going to try and... Oh, I think he misclicked on the reactor there. He does have to blink away. But this is such a good push. Nice move with this tank. Now that Gumiho has the tank, you can push him back. Oh, he blinked back to the high ground. No, Astrea, not like this, mate. Oh my god, Astrea just did such a brilliant move into just a big poo-poo. Oh, big poo-poo move. And now he does at least get the barracks cancel. But that was awkward. That was awkward. It started so good. Missile turret spots the observer, allows him to take that out. Up to 4 barracks now is Gumiho. 5th barracks building. He's building tanks. He's building Vikings. Equal workers on both sides. But Astrea takes a 4th base. He feels like, I've got map control at least. Losing so many Stalkers, not good for him. He should have been way ahead on the units lost, but he just got a bit overcommitted there. Viking comes forward. If you can put units on patrol with waypoints, etc., can you do the same with Widowmine retargeting? I think you're talking about shift. You're talking about using shift to queue up actions? No, you can't automate retargeting. No. Because the whole point is that you're telling it to stop. Ooh, get out of there, Astrea. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. He doesn't have extended thermal lance. There's missile turrets, tanks on all sides. Like, this is a locked down. I like that Astrea is still acting scary, but he's going to lose a Colossus there. Super worth it. 1 Viking for a Colossus. Slick trade for Gumiho. If you were to queue up an action, it has to complete the first action to do the next action. And as you can imagine, shooting a Widowmine is completing the action. So it's not going to complete it until it's actually done that, right? So you can't, like, you know, queue up canceling something before it's done. That's never going to work out. That's something, you know, the retargeting on the mine is very active control. It's one of the reasons why I don't recommend Widowmine harass to most players. I think as an average Joe, Widowmine drop is not a very reliable harassment move. It's not bad to mix in there, but it's nowhere near as reliable as it is at pro level because, you know, you don't have the APM as an average Joe to achieve what pros do with it. Oh, careful. I like that Astrea is buying room for himself right now because his army sucks. It's way weaker than Gumiho's. Gumiho realizes how weak that Protoss army is. There's just no zealots in there. But look, Astrea forces him to siege up again and then pulls back. And he's got mass gateway finishing. Astrea's bought himself all the time he needs. He's on 75 workers thinking about a 5th base. Gumiho, he has a 4th command center almost done. He's got 8 barracks coming up. He's up 30 army supply, but he's not able to force the fight. Astrea just keeps poking forward, forcing sieges. And Gumiho is like, damn it, I can't force a fight. Look at this. Zealots are ready to flank the army. This is such a good setup here for Astrea. And Gumiho realizes, like, dude, I'm giving you too much time. You're going to set up a really nice surround. I need to go home. So he needs a Ghost Academy right now. Where is the Ghost Academy and the 2nd engineering bay? He's got 2 engineering bays, but the 2nd one is not upgrading. Gumiho is just pumping out basic units off 66 workers. He's got a 4th command center coming in. Needs to set up his tanks across his bases. He doesn't have any tanks covering the left side, but I guess he feels okay with it. The observers are seeing so much. He's using a lot of scans. How many observers has he killed this game? 3. But Astrea's been very good at replacing them. Gumiho, what are we doing over here? Big mistake here for Gumiho. Somehow saves both tanks. Wow. Loses a medevac and a few Marines and Marauders. That's not too bad. And he knows there's an observer because he's like, well, how did you know that those units were so exposed? 5th base goes up for Astrea. +3 attack, +1 armor. Man, what a interesting game this has been. Mass Zealot with a few Colossus Archons and Immortals, a couple Sentries in the mix, 4 more probes building. Astrea is going to an incredibly high income. He's already on 14 gateways as he starts a Stargate and +1 air weapons. So Astrea is thinking about an air swap. Tempests can be very good for picking off units from afar. Carriers are a good all-round unit that's kind of just annoying for them to deal with. Oh no, Astrea with a big misclick on the Zealot flank. Oh, he thought they would have pathed to the left. But a lot of Zealots go down. Astrea throwing away too many units right now. His scans for Gumiho see exactly where you're at. I like the Zealot counterattack going in. That's huge. But Bio at the rally is ready for it. 2-1 against 2-1. Equal upgrades right now for both sides. Yet another observer goes down. Gumiho's been very good at denying the observers. Zealot's coming from the right side. Is it going to be enough, though? The bio's looking good, but the tank count is getting lowered. The tanks have not been able to focus down the Colossus. This is a good fight for Astrea. There's still 2 tanks left, though. Oh, those last tank shots pretty good. If he got rid of these Colossus and that orange hit point Immortal, that would have been fantastic for Gumiho. As it is, I think it's still okay for Gumiho. Still got 1 tank there. Another observer comes out. Astrea's been so good about getting vision with observers. More zealots warping in. Archon Colossus over there. There's not many tanks. Gumiho's got to be careful. There's a massive zealot flank coming from the south. They're going to find his rally, his reinforce. Gumiho needs to force the fight. He's got to force the fight right here, right now. Marines are behind, guarding the tanks. The Zealot Archon comes in from behind. The Marines do all stim there. The Marauders stim as well. Gumiho trying to start a step away. He's got to get these medevacs out of here. That is a very good pickup choice for Gumiho. But despite that, look at his army supply. It's only barely even. He's trying to build 2 more commands. And his Ghost Academy, just remember I said he needs ghosts. He just never got the ghosts up. And I can absolutely get behind skipping ghosts if you go fast libs. But just a few tanks and otherwise pure bio, the lack of EMPs in that really hurt his ability to deal with those zealots, the Archons, and just the raw meat of that army. Storm's on the way as well as +1 air opens. Now, Astrea, he's on 82 workers, so he's up about 10, and he's on 10 gases, more importantly than anything. Meanwhile, Fusion Core second starport goes down. This time, Gumiho has got that second starport on the reactor much quicker. I was talking about that in that earlier game 1. I think that's way more important than going for a third starport. So he's adding ship weapon upgrades as well. Second Stargate coming in as well as the Fleet Beacon about to finish. And Astrea managing to hang on in this game. He's down about 1,000 in the units lost. Is he going to go Mama or is he just going to go something else? +2 air weapons is on the way. Third Stargate. He's going to go carriers. Because he would have started Tempests already, even one at a time. But it looks like he wants to just go hard into +2 carriers all at once. And you really need to have good air upgrades before you do that. Because if you only have +1 carriers against +3 armor Marines, they're just not going to do very well. Okay, Mama is going to come in. So Astrea's got Mama on the way. He's got the 5th base up here. I love these cannons, guys. Why cannons on the edge? It's because drops going past will get shot down, as will Liberators. You always want to try and build cannons on the edges here to zone out your opponent's harass, coming in on those extreme flanks. Flying through the middle, not so much of an issue. You're usually going to scout them and be able to stop them with your main army. First carrier's on the way. Gumiho's going to float a 5th base out. Is he going pure orbital? That's funny. He's got a planetary here, but this one's going to be an orbital. I think he's realizing this game's going a bit later. Adding planetaries later will be nice, but for now, 5 orbitals. It's going to give you a bit more income, a bit more vision. Dude, the observers of Astrea have been so good. Remember, observers build so quickly. It's mostly the gas cost that gets you. 7 observers have died this game. Gumiho gets another observer there. He's actually got that one with a missile turret. You got to be careful going too close to those missile turrets, mate. Zealot High Templar counterattack comes in from the south. Liberators should be able to deal with this, especially with the bio stimming back. High Templar going to be able to storm if chased too far. Careful, Gumiho. Good storm. Okay, second storm goes down. Gumiho's trying to catch this army, though. And yeah, if you damage the units but don't actually kill them... Oh, we got the Archon! The Archon's getting saved! Dude, that Archon is sick. That Archon just got pushed so far. Zealot's going up to the SCVs right now as well. These SCVs are going to be taking a lot of damage. So planetary on that base up north does cost a little bit here. You know what? I think Gumiho's overall okay. As long as he's confident in the late game fights, which to be fair, if we think of his finals against Showtime in Home Story Cup, he didn't really look that good in the late game. Then again, I mean, if you've got ranged libs... It's just, we're very heavy on Marauders, and he's going to need to start trading those out. Mass scans going down. Carriers on the top side. There's an army on the south as well. Here we go, guys. He's going to go for a bigger push. Where's Mama? Mama's south. We've got High Templar, Colossus Carrier Ball, a few High Templar Archon Zealots on the south. Remember, there is a bigger army for Gumiho right now, but he's already copped a few storms. He's going to siege the libs. He's going for the push right now. Mama flanking. Mama's coming in from behind. Mama's coming in from behind. What's he going to recall? He's going to recall a whole lot of army behind. Time Warp goes down. There are High Templar in the mix, but they get EMP'd instantly. The High Templar on the left side get a massive storm on all of the libs and the Vikings. The Time Warp did slow the attack speed as well as the movement speed of that Terran army by 50%. Meanwhile, carrier on the top slowly picking off these libs. The carrier's all going down. There's nothing that shoots up. A few Marines, a Ghost, and the Liberators having to swap into those anti-air mode. But now the Stalkers come forward, and the carrier count, their interceptor count may be low, but they've got +2 attack. And with so few units shooting up, the Stalkers taking out the libs. The Marauders doing really well against the Stalkers. who's got more money. This is a bit of a rinse here. Both sides' armies are rinsing each other out, trading. The medevac snipe at the end of that was very good for Astrea. That was kind of fascinating, guys, because he did recall one High Templar behind. I don't know where the other High Templar were. I know one came from the left and landed a great storm. The one behind, as well as the sentry, both got EMP'd at the very start of the fight, so that was a really good reactive EMP for Gumiho. And how many carriers actually died? No carriers died, just the mothership. I guess we can look at the units lost overall as well. Astrea is still trading badly in that regard. But Protoss tends to get a bit more access to bases. That being said, his 6th base is pretty late. It's 5 base against 5 base right now. I feel like that should favor the Terran. But he doesn't have any Liberators. And remember, he's only got 2 starports. He has to take a break to build medevacs now before building more libs, and he needs libs. If you don't have libs to help deal with the ground army, doesn't matter how much anti-air you have, because you need Liberators or the storms will rip your Vikings apart. I mean, EMP is good. You're not going to be able to EMP everything super reliably. Command center tries to go up in the bottom left. Super risky move, gets punished. There are a few more command centers up now. You can see 6 orbitals trying to build another command center here. Astrea is just massing carriers. That's crazy. He's going to go 11 carriers. Is that even good, guys? So I always feel like the mass carrier army is technically decent. You know what's good about it is upgrades. Because there's only been 1 armory this whole time. Gumiho is like, oh, I better build a 2nd armory, but it's going to be minutes until he even gets +1 armor. Meanwhile, we've already got +3 air attack, +2 air armor. That's a huge difference maker. Not only are the interceptors better at tanking against Marines, your carriers will tank the Viking shots way better. And the Vikings are just going to get obliterated by interceptors. So this, you might actually be able to... Oh, look at this Mama's here, guys. She's going to recall on top of the army. Time Warp goes down. Massive recall on top of the army. Oh my god, Gumiho, you got to be careful, mate. Careful, mate. Oh my gosh. He's going to attack the north at the same time. Is recall available, though? Yeah, recall's available. Recall, EMP. He EMPs before the recall happens. Astrea not able to recall now. He's going to be pushing in the south side. Meanwhile, he loses the top base. Both sides losing a base. But remember, the Terran base floats away. Protoss 1 does not just yet. No EMPs at home. Still High Templar in the back. Carriers doing very well. There's not much anti-air here. The Vikings are going down. The Vikings are going down. No EMPs. The Widowmine does get a decent hit, but nothing that's going to be changing the game completely. Bio on the other side is just cleaning up Nexi. This is the really important fight. Gumiho needs more anti-air. He's got a few Vikings, but not enough, guys. He's got 11 Vikings, a bunch which are on the other side of the map. 11 Vikings ain't enough to deal with 9 carriers in this game. We've got units coming in at home. No, Astrea's just going for broke right now. He wants to dive in here. Stalkers on the Vikings. Oh, Gumiho. He's going to get stormed in the back of his own base. His whole army is getting stormed. Down, 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 down. Meanwhile, a lot of High Templar Zealot coming out. You got to be careful here. You got a few EMPs. Are you going to be able to land them, though? Your army's already so wounded. 1 storm on this army could be devastating. I like the feedback. I think feedback's great there. 2 of the High Templar cop the EMP, but with the battery overcharge, he should be able to defend that base very easily now. Gumiho has to tap out, not having an answer to the carriers at Astrea with the combat recalls at 2 separate points in that game. Let's look at that first one again, because that one was such a fun fight. Yeah, here it is. Thing about going carriers, right, is the Terran definitely does need like a 3rd starport at this stage as the game goes longer. And he didn't quite get there. Zealot harassment was really good. And I really like the way he kept his army split up. I think this was really nice for Astrea is got like High Templar coming from multiple angles, which is how you have to use High Templar. You can't just have them clumped up, right? He's got great observer vision. Even with Gumiho just spamming scans this game. Killing 8 observers by 15 minutes. There's still observers watching him. Look at the vision for Astrea. He sees him coming. Great storm. So these units were already kind of quite damaged. Comes in from this side as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't have storm energy there. Otherwise, he could have got a bunch of damage on those libs. Even just a few seconds of storm on the Liberators to soften them up is game-changing. Another storm on the Marauders. So this was already like a pretty good start to the fight, I would say. And then the flanking mothership coming in is hilarious. Such a cool move. Now, the problem he runs into is not enough storm. There's only 3 High Templar. And actually, oh, this one didn't even have energy, guys. You can see only 29 energy on that High Templar. These guys here, they've got 83 energy and Yeah, they've both got 83 energy because they warped in at the same time. So he's only got 2 storms available, both from the left. Whereas if he was able to bring in a flanking High Templar from here, it could have been good. Like I said, there is an EMP pretty quickly. That's an issue. If a High Templar ran in from this angle, it could have also stormed like 4 or 5 of these Liberators, which would be pretty big. Anyway, let's take a look at this. So he runs in, recalls, because that takes a little bit. And the army does kind of recall around the corner, so they're a little bit stuck far back. This time warp is huge. Remember, these units, 50% attack and movement reduction for the next 10 seconds in that bubble. High Templar coming from the left. Doesn't really feel like Astrea's army is that amazing right now. It's kind of a weird mix of units. But it's just, these Liberators are all facing the wrong direction. You've got 5 Liberators that basically are doing nothing. Yeah, I mean, you've just got no Libs watching the backside at all. And that storm is so good. The reduced damage on so many of those units for that whole period is really big. Astrea says, I don't think it's 50%. Oh, it's 40 or 33%. They did reduce it, right? At some point. Okay, it's a big one, but it's like, yeah, it's not quite 50%. It's pretty big. Astrea just arrived in the chat. Dude, what a cool fight, though. What a cool fight. This is something where you can kind of see how if you're planning to just set up a Lib Ghost Push, you want to kind of siege in one direction, and the Protoss can be threatening from 2 sides, and then sneak that single mothership in from behind, which just completely reorients the battle on the fly. That's so cool, man. Astrea takes the lead, 2-1. All right, guys. Astrea's up 2-1 now, going into Oceanborn. And it might be time. Gumiho, I was going to say it might be time to do a nice little marine tank push, but Gumiho kind of did a small one in the last game, canceled the 3rd. Site Delta, he also canceled the 3rd. Gumiho's consistently canceling 3rd bases, catching Astrea off guard. It might be time to just shove the natural and just kill him. Even if he's got a 3rd building and just go... I feel like sometimes you can fall into this holding pattern of like, oh, I did a bit of damage, now let's pull back. And sometimes in PvT, it's better to not be so reactive, and it's better to just throw the kitchen sink at your opponent and punch him in the face. And that's what I'd like to see from him right now. Now, I don't know why we're microing 17 workers on minerals right now. Interesting. Guys, why has he got 17 on minerals and only 1 on gas? He does go Nexus before Cybercore with no scout. He was actively microing his probes to try and speed up their mining as well, which is what was interesting there. I don't know if this was on purpose or not. Astrea's... I'm recording this one live on stream. He was in the chat a moment ago, so he can let us know if he remembers that, but I'm sure the nerves were running high at this moment. He's like, of course it was on purpose. What? I didn't accidentally have a 3rd worker stacked up. Neither side scouting, guys. 2 blind StarCraft pros walk into a bar. With a 19 Nexus, you need to leave 17 on minerals, apparently. I think is what Astrea is trying to tell us in chat. Oh. Apparently this is a thing. This is like the whole build order for the 19 Nexus. This way you get the Cyber close to the same timing as with a Cybercore first, but it allows you to get the Nexus before the Cyber... Oh, right, of course. Yes. Okay, I remember this opening now. So, guys, I've been sitting on beaches in Greece for the last few weeks. You guys are going to have to forgive my knowledge over my casts for the next 2-3 days before I get back in the mode, all right? Yeah, all right. I do like the 19 Nexus opening. Especially when you do no scout like this. Like, it's so efficient. It's so safe. I think you can get away with 20 Nexus at my level pretty consistently, but 19 is just safer, and it's a very solid build order. All right, guys, Depth's coming out. We've got Blink coming in. Second gateway goes down. Very standard build order for Astrea. Gumiho's just going for a Cyclone to start. Now, we haven't really seen like a Cyclone Marine Mine push. Now, the one thing which actually makes me angry to watch in this matchup is Clem's Cyclone Marine medevac pressure. And yeah, we do have a medevac on the way. Clem kills Protoss a silly amount of the time by just rallying 2 Cyclones, a bunch of Marines, and a medevac across the map, and then just using the medevac pickup micro to dodge projectiles. And that's actually like, it's one of these things where it's like late stage StarCraft 2, 2024. We're 14 years into StarCraft 2. We're realizing if you are the best Terran in the world, your opponent having units that have projectiles or attack animations that can be dodged with a medevac is actually huge. Like I don't think when they were designing the units for StarCraft 2, they were like, hey, these Protoss early game units all having projectiles is going to make them really weak against the medevac. You're like, what? How's that make? No, no, no. There's this guy who's just going to keep picking up and dodging shots. Now, it's Gumiho. He's not Clem. I do not expect him to be the same level in that regard. Why is he pulling home? Oh, he's waiting for the tank. Ah, okay. Got another more Marines, tank, Viking, bringing 4 SCVs for repair as well. Oh god, there's a battery. Astrea is playing pretty safe. Last game, he built an Immortal here. He needs 275 minerals and 100 gas, but he's not taking any break from probing. He should stop probing now. Immortal. Don't build a third Nexus. Make an Immortal. He sees it. He sees the attack. Okay, the Observer will get scanned. Beautiful move there. Immortal. He just queued up 2 probes and an Observer. Astrea, where's the Immortal, mate? Oh, greedy instincts kicking in for Astrea. Very greedy. Remember what I was saying? You need to just shove the natural. Astrea keeps getting away with just canceling his third and then having time to give up an area and then buy time for the perfect engage. No chrono boost on that Immortal just yet. I don't think he has energy to chrono because then he can't battery overcharge. He's going to need to battery overcharge now. You see it takes a little while to heal up these units. The tank comes very far forward. Oh, the tank has to siege a little bit further back. Gumiho, did he go too far forward? Tank does. It's still in range. Astrea, uh-oh. Astrea should have kept fighting. Oh, he blinks forward. He goes for the YOLO. 2 to 3 Stalkers for a tank. Is it worth it? He's out of battery overcharge energy. He's out of healing energy. The Immortal coming out could be big. If the Immortal can take out all of the key units, this could get it done. The Stalkers are pulling to the north side. The Stalker Immortal here on the south side as well. The tank's going to get a siege up. The Immortal's doing well, though. There's not many fighting units. 2 Vikings, though. The Vikings have good damage. The tank goes down, but the Vikings answer that by taking out the Immortal and the Stalker. There's just so few units left right now, and Artosis is left standing alone. Artosis out in his open. Out in the own. Ah, jeez. If that goes down, this is a big problem. And it's going to go down. 2 Stalkers can't fight this. Landed Vikings do insane damage against mechanical. Guess what? Everything Protoss has that's not a Zealot is mechanical. Get wrecked, Protoss. This is what happens when you use robots rather than just taking literal prisoners and people who do all sorts of naughty things, putting them in power armor, giving them a Gauss rifle and sending them into battle like the bloody Terran bastards that they are. Gumiho with a very nice push there. Straight Cyclone, second Cyclone. Actually, no, straight Cyclone into tank medevac. Building Vikings in the mix. Just shoves the front with the SCVs for the auto repair. Really well done. And Astrea going for Robo Bay, 4 gases, all of this stuff. A bit too greedy. If the moment his Observer saw the Marines, he cancelled probes, chronoed the Immortal, would have been good. But instead he built 2 more probes and an Observer. And I do think that combined with Astrea, maybe he should have fought with his Stalkers a bit early so he didn't have to do that crazy blink forward. I think this is holdable, but there's very little margin for error, and now Gumiho forces game 5. All right, guys, game 5 here. It's Gumiho versus Astrea. The series will be decided on Alcyone. Oh, sorry, wait, how do they say it? Alcyone? After I've realized all the other casters say Alcyone, and I'm like, okay, there's part of me that's like, I might actually start saying it. We are due for a new map pool, so... But either way, this map's going to be an interesting map. I'd say it's rather fair and balanced. The problem is the Watchtower. The Watchtower can work usually better for Terran, but kind of depends. This area in general, with these little choked up areas, it's just awkward for Zealots to fight there. It gives a lot of vision down the middle of the map. So you expect Prisms down the right, Zealot run-bys down to the left to be big against Terran. You also expect Terran potential Doom drops down the south side into the main can be big. And, you know, Liberators coming down this left side can be nice as well. It is a double gas opening. Notice there have been workers pulled off gas. Wait, only 1 worker pulled off gas. What is this? Gumiho, what are you doing? Is this reactor first? Oh, he's going Heavy Reaper. Heavy Reaper Hellion. Okay, so because notice leaving the workers on gas means his command center is going to be massively delayed. Gumiho in game 5 is like, you know what? I haven't done a lot of double gas this series. Let's go double gas. Let's YOLO this. Why not? Double Reaper coming in. Oh, man. Oh, okay. So we've got 2 double Reaper. Still 2 workers on each gas? I guess this doesn't delay the command center too long. It's like a 10-second delay. I mean, that's not too bad. Notice the Hellion starts up before the command center. Problem is Zealot's coming in. Reapers should be good against this, though. Reaper Hellion will shut down the Zealot at depth pressure. As long as you don't lose the SCV, you just run it away. Spotting the double Reaper coming out is actually really nice. SCV does take 1.5 hits from the Zealot. I say 1.5 because remember the Zealot's damage is technically split into 2 separate attacks that each do 8 damage. SCV will go down. Oh, I like that instant recall for Astrea. Shades in, gets the SCV, gets out before he takes any critical damage. New SCV has to come from the high ground. This command center was already late. Now it's even later. Behind this, Adept comes forward. He wants to get some hits on the Hellion. Oh, nice move. Hellion does get a bit of vision. Oh, he cancels the Shade. Bit of a crazy move for Astrea. Worth it if he gets the Hellion. Gumiho should pull back with that Hellion. You do not want to lose that. Ah, okay. I mean, to be fair, you killed the Adept, so maybe it's okay there for Gumiho. There's what? A Shield Battery, 1 Adept, 1 Stalker. There's not much defense for Astrea right now. Astrea's only on 1 gate. His Warp Gate's almost ready, but it's not there just yet. Stalker on the high ground. Starts building another gateway to wall off the front. Adept here with the battery already gets a hit off. I like this micro from Astrea. The way he gets forward, unfortunately he didn't focus fire though. So the Reapers are going to get themselves a probe. Stalker's going after the Reaper here. Hellion, will it get any damage in the main? Those Reapers on the natural shouldn't kill anything, but oh, Astrea's not watching. Sends those probes back away from the battery. And the Hellion gets 1 in the main as well. So the Reapers killed 2 on the natural and the Hellion got 1 in the main. Stalker attacking its own robo there. Hold on, Astrea. Calm down, bud. Calm down. Gotta lower the tempo a little bit. 5 Reapers. What the heck? That's a crazy... So 6 Reapers got built as well as 3 Hellions? That seems like a crazy commitment. Gumiho needs more damage. He needs more damage. If he can get the Stalkers to pull to the natural, Reapers could do well, but the Stalkers are killing it. And the Adept should easily deal with this. Meanwhile, the Reapers... Oh my gosh, 3 Reapers for a Stalker. I mean, the Reapers aren't going to be good units later on, whereas Stalkers are always useful. It's still not a good trade. Cost for cost. Great start to this game for Astrea, who's up almost 10 workers and should be looking for a 3rd base. Gumiho, on the other hand, has his 2nd and 3rd barracks only now building. He's going into tanks, and he does have a Liberator to pressure on the left side of the map. Adept pushes him off the watchtower. Stalkers and an Observer here. Dark Shrine comes in. Ooh, Astrea mixing in the Dark Shrine, realizing off this opening, you spent so much gas on Reapers. The chances of you going for a Raven after this is very low, but the Liberator will catch him off guard. Not only that, we've also got a Reaper on by. Reapers are going to jump in the left side and try to get in for more damage. With so many units on the other side of the map, that could be very effective. Stalker's getting ready for the run by here. Looks like the Liberator did pull back to that left side. Stalkers go in now. 3 SCVs go down. Tank is repositioning, which means it can't shoot right then. Couple of Marines as well. Nice move there for Astrea. Technical little bit of harassment. Triple Stalker warping shuts down those Reapers as well. Get Blink after this? No, he's not going to bother. He will pull back to the middle of the map though. These Reapers not long for this world. Liberator still alive on the left. Dark Shrine's there. Did Gumiho see the Dark Shrine? Yes, he did. Engineering base coming in. No Raven though. 3rd Nexus finally on the way here for Astrea. With how slow Gumiho's opening has been, I think you're totally fine to have your 3rd base at 530. I think Astrea feels perfectly fine with that. He's left 3 Stalkers there to defend the Liberator. He's got some Stalkers on the front. He's got to be careful. Do not blink into that. Do not blink into this, Mr. Astrea. He's got Dark Templar dropping there. Stalkers could blink over to try and deal with those Reapers, but he's a bit busy focused on the main. 1 Dark Templar goes down. 2 SCVs. Oh, I was like, where'd the SCV damage happen? Apparently there was a 3rd Dark Templar that warped in. Gets a few SCVs in the natural. But I think overall Gumiho should be okay with this defense. The problem, of course, is 3rd base coming up for Protoss. And, ooh, Dark Templar tries to get the Reaper. Not quite. Stalkers will take it out, though. So the problem is the explosive growth. Astrea's going, Blink DT, Zealot. What are you doing, Astrea? On 4 gas. This is crazy. Guys, Astrea's drunk. To be fair, Astrea sometimes plays his best StarCraft when he's a little bit drunk, when he plays a little bit crazy, when he plays a little bit loose, and starts having fun with his creative builds. Stalker's defending the prism, but then he leaves the prism behind. I was going to say perfect control from Astrea to get that prism out of there, but then he leaves it. Oh no! He's only building Dark Templar and Zealots. 3 gateways are up, 5 more buildings. Stalkers take a tank shot. Units lost up, very even on both sides. Very even on both sides. I don't know, man. There's no 3rd command center. There's no reactor. It's only 1 medevac at a time. Guys, Gumiho's push is a bit half cooked. This is not a fully cooked push. He's got like 12 Marines. Is he out of scans? He might be out of scans as well. The Dark Templar one-shotting these Stim Marines. They don't have combat shields yet. The Stalkers are going to blink in and try to take these out. Slow Zealot Dark Templar The scan does allow the Dark Templar to get focused, but there's just so few Marines. The Slow Zealots are legitimately killing Marines and tanks right now. Slow Zealots are some of the worst units in the game, but they actually got a decent trade there. What is happening right now? Charge is finally finished. The Stalkers with the battery overcharge, though, taking an excellent fight. One tank can't really get through battery overcharge, as you see there, and that is why this defense for Astrea is reasonably good. He's going to stop the tanks escaping as well. Good pickup for Gumi, bro. Stims there. Still no combat shields. Gumiho desperately needs that shields, man. The Marines and the tanks are somehow still taking good trades. Gumiho's got to get home. Pick up those tanks. Get out of there. Immortal gets caught on the right side. Dark Templar takes out a few Marines before it goes down. Gumiho's going to take up station in the middle of the map and chill out for a second. Reactor goes down on the starport. Third command center goes down in the natural. And you know what? Astrea's only up 5 workers. This is a very playable position. Dark Templar comes forward, though. It's going to get a tank. Oh, is it? Yes. One tank goes down. Scan takes care of it. Not having a Raven starting to become an issue. The Marines are getting jumped on the Stalker. Zealot charges on top. Good Marine micro there for Gumiho. He's focusing down the Stalkers, but he's losing Medivacs and Marines by the dozen. Astrea is all over him, and Gumiho has to pick up and retreat to that natural. And now, losing control of the tower like that, that's really bad. Because he just lost all of his tanks that he's been building all game. He's only got one new one out, a second one building, 4th and 5th barracks on the way. You got to see here just the lack of having shields. Having concussive shells is really hurting him. Finally, he's mixing his first Marauders in, but the lack of combat shields is just so bad. It's so painful in this game. The intensity here, day 1 of the tournament, playing this. Zealot drop on the right side. I mean, Astrea's splash damage is really slow. His Forge is really late. He's taking a 4th base in the top left. I am a big fan of late upgrades in PvT. I think it's very good. It's a very good style. But when you're on Mass Zealot, you kind of rely on upgrades to trade well. So, like, Astrea's fantastic economic position. He has an Immortal, he has a Sentry, but his Stalker count's kind of low at just 2. He's only now starting his first Colossus. And it's a position where it's like, don't get me wrong, this could turn into a massive advantage for Astrea very soon, but he's still just a little more fragile than we'd like to see, as Combat Shields is finally being upgraded. Dark Templar strolls past there, ready to counterattack. I like that Astrea is not just sending it in, he's kind of waiting until Gumiho is busy elsewhere. And here we go. Zealot drop in the main base. DT is going to click into the 3rd at the same time. Big chance for damage here. So that Dark Templar starts picking away at those SCVs. Unfortunately, they have +1 armor. So the Dark Templar is not one-shotting SCVs, guys. It's just damaging them. Finally, it starts getting some damage. Meanwhile, SCVs and Marauders in the main base. Nice pickup with the Prism. Get out of there. And that Prism should be able to escape. Marines drop it on top. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. It's going to go down. Gumiho only loses 5 SCVs. Gets the Prism, the Dark Templar, and the Zealot. That's actually such a good defense there. And remember, this is the problem, guys. If you don't have +1 attack, your Dark Templar only do 45 damage. And the SCVs with +1 armor, they only take 44 damage a hit, which is just such a big problem for those Dark Templar. Now, as +1 kicks in, you're always going to one-shot those stimmed Marines or those SCVs. But it's still a little while away. Second Forge starting up now. 2 Colossus. No, only 1 Colossus is out. He actually started another one and then cancelled it. Why? Oh, he's got 2 Robos, right? So one's building a Prism. Oh, Astrea wants to push. But he's only got 1 Colossus. Second Robo's up. I'd love to see him using that second Robo. Stalker's warping in as well. Marines on the right side. Ghost Academy's there. Okay, double gas mining as well. The purple gas is huge. 3 base against 4 base, favoring Astrea. The numbers don't seem that good, but you have to realize there's no EMP. He's going to have his first ghost just now starting. Yeah, he's queuing up a few ghosts here. Give him a minute. Gumiho's army will get a lot better. Second Forge is now finished for Astrea. He's not really using it. He starts a Disruptor there. He's looking to focus on the battle. And I think that second Forge is huge, but yeah, he didn't have the gas. So he started the Disruptor of Colossus, and he did a double chrono on his upgrades, but you can see he didn't actually have the gas to start his armor upgrades. And even now, chrono boosting his Robos again, but not realizing that his armor upgrade never started upgrading. Oh my gosh, great interception here from Gumiho. Stims the Marines down, gets rid of that Prism as well. The Observer does give some good vision for Astrea though, dude. His vision is insane. There ain't no surprises in this game coming out of Gumiho's side of the map. Now, Gumiho's got 4 tech labs, only 1 reactor, making 4 goes, 2 Vikings at a time. 4th command center's on the way as well. 2nd engineering bay coming down. I'd actually love to see Gumiho go fast range libs. I think that could be really good. Was that Prism speed? No, it was not. Marauder does get clipped by the Disruptor. Stalker Colossus hanging out. 1 sentry there just for Guardian Shield. Always good to have that mixed in. This probe, what's he doing? Why is there... Did he just run a probe across and open the minerals up? I think Astrea meant to send it around the backside, but it just ran in the front. Or maybe it ran around the back, mined the minerals, and then just returned the closest path through the front. Gumiho's just down in numbers. He's down 20 army supply. Great EMP. Good 2nd EMP as well. Dude, he's just so far down in the numbers, though. Astrea can just push. He's realizing he can just push. There's only 1 tank and a few Vikings there. The Marauder ghost count is pretty good. Disruptor shot gets 2 ghosts. Nice disruptor shot. 2nd disruptor shot goes out. Does not connect. 3rd one only hitting a single Marauder. Uh-oh, Astrea might be getting pushed back here. The Immortal's starting to fall here. The War Prism goes down, as does the Colossus. There's not a lot of Marauders on the ground, though. And 17 workers went down in the midst of this to these Zealots getting inside the natural expand. If he ran those SCVs away, I would say that would have been an amazing fight. But now look at the worker count. Down 20 workers, even with a 4th command center coming up. Gumiho needs to rebuild his workers. He's not focusing on that because he's so afraid of Astrea just killing him. Astrea's on 67 workers, which is not an insanely huge economy. But he's now got a 5th base up. He's building a round or 2 of probes, transferring out of his main and his natural, which means, hey, that 5th base is going to fill up very quickly. And he's still got so much map control. There's just no fear for Astrea in this game. He's on with the map control. Fusion Core goes down, but with no SCV production, one has to question Gumiho on if you're going to play extra tech and upgrades, surely you're playing a much longer game. Oh, did you see the way he was trying to hide the Disruptor Shot, guys? You might be wondering, why did Astrea pull that Disruptor Shot back? So basically, he was hoping to catch Gumiho not watching. And what you want to do is sometimes you want to throw a Disruptor Shot. You will hold it back for a second so that he has less time to react. So it's basically... when he moves into it, it's already like coming to him and it's halfway through its fuse. I guess there's one way to think of it, right? And then he's got less time to react to it. So it's a very, very high level little adjustment that players will sometimes make. Basically cooking the grenade. It won't travel as far, but you're relying on Gumiho moving into it. Oh, the Stalker blink from behind. EMPs across him. Disruptor shot. Oh, he actually should have fired that Disruptor shot onto him. Not the best Disruptor micro from Astrea. He finally lands a good one. Another one lands quite nicely, but it's a lovely ambush. It doesn't matter if that wasn't the cleanest fight ever from Astrea. The blink ambush comes in. Gumiho had not rebuilt his workers, even if he tried to. He was just stuck in his corner of the map against an Astrea on 5 base, and Astrea manages to close out the series there, defending the reactor first, Reaper Hellion aggression, and then carrying it through. Really nice play for Astrea.